This video, I'm going to show you how I scaled from 0 to 100K per month with ADHD. In fact, you're going to realize that ADHD was one of the reasons I was able to do that. I'm going to walk you through the systems that helped me get from 0 to 10K per month, 10K to 100K per month, and beyond 100K per month. Actually, recently we just did about $450,000 per month in July. And honestly, a big part of that is thanks to ADHD. So I'm going to, again, walk you through the systems that help me, the different stages. I'm going to tell you some stories here and there of what helped me get there. And then I'm going to actually walk you through the systems, which helped me solve each step of that stage. If you don't know who I am, my name is Ali Al-Karguli. I'm a NASA postdoctoral fellow. I'm also the founder of a company called Next Level Systems. It's a behavior engineering company where we help humans and businesses make better decisions and be more productive using AI and tailored systems. So if you're an entrepreneur looking to scale your business and you feel like you are the bottleneck in your own business, you need to be more productive. This was made for you. So real quick, the first thing that you're going to notice is that part one in here really has more to do with clarity. And then part two has to do with execution. Part three has to do with scale. And there's a very good reason for why each of that is the case. Actually, this part is pretty easy. This part is pretty easy. This is like the valley of despair. This part is really, really hard, especially if you have ADHD. I'm going to talk about this in a bit more detail. Now, real quick, I want to also what is ADHD? A lot of people think they hear this word all the time. They're like, "What?" ADHD is basically executive dysfunction and dopamine dysregulation. People who have ADHD have brains that are wired in a certain way that makes it really hard to initiate tasks, complete tasks, stick to a schedule. They get bored very easily because of the lower levels of dopamine or epinephrine. There's not enough urgency to tackle important things. You're kind of going by what feels urgent in the moment rather than what feels important. So as a result, a lot of people with ADHD are very creative, very smart, very intelligent. But if they don't have the right systems in place, they actually end up the ones being the most regretful of wasted potential. So in my case, this was the case as well. Basically, I have a brain that is really high on the processing, very intelligent, very creative, but was very low on the execution. And I solved that over here in step two. Before I talk to you about step two, step one is the part that's very important. Basically, it's clarity systems. Now, if I go over here to my LinkedIn and look at Next Level Systems, you'll actually see that the very first stage of this business, I started a while back. I was actually all the way in November 2022, almost 3 years ago. But then I took a long pause before I came back. Why is that? And the reason is that this part over here was very easy. This part was very hard. So I actually got from 0 to 10K in as little as like 3 weeks. And that's pretty much because I had clarity on a few things. I had clarity over who I was. I had clarity over the kind of business I wanted to have. And I had clarity over what the market wanted. And at the time when I started my business, the first time, I basically ran an offer that helped people scale their businesses using things I learned at SpaceX. I had just been SpaceX recently, and I was like, okay, wow, SpaceX is a very efficient, lean company that is very aggressive in how they do things. Most online businesses are really slow and inefficient and not good. So basically, was teaching business owners the strategies and frameworks I learned inside of there. And that basically helped me close the very first few clients, get to 10K pretty easy. But not only could I not get to 100K per month like so quickly, I was really struggling to even just like sit down and do work, be able to like be consistent. I would like have to jump on calls. I hated those calls. And what I was not realizing at the time is that I was lacking an execution system. I was lacking a productivity system that helped me execute on my goals. Now, at that time, I didn't even know I had ADHD, right? At the time, I just thought I was like lazy. I was unreliable. I was demotivated. I thought I didn't care about my business enough. And I had always had this conflict of like, man, I really want to like sit down and achieve these goals, but like also, man, I really like cannot get myself to start this work or finish this work, or I would get bored midway through task, or I would like, I don't know, have too many tabs open and like be like, okay, what am I actually trying to do here? And then I would get overwhelmed and I would get up and go like play video games or something else. So I knew what I wanted. So the clarity was not the hard part. That part was actually solved in step one very easily. But I really struggled with this execution system. And it was only when I built like a personal productivity system later, after I found out that this is actually what I have ADHD and whatnot, which meant I had these issues. And obviously it meant like nothing's wrong with me morally. It just meant that my brain was working a little bit differently. I need to build something that works with it. And I went ahead and I built something like that. And then I had a system that actually helped me be able to execute. And at the time I did hire like a few people, but I would say from 10K to 100K, the thing that really helped me the most is having an execution system that is very ADHD friendly. And again, the only way I was able to get that to work is to have that system be ADHD friendly. Now with ADHD, there's multiple things you're going to need. You're going to need to make sure that your productivity system addresses, for example, being clear, prioritization, knowing what to work on next, setting a schedule that's stick toable, learning how to manage your time properly, as well as execution using, and I did the execution system in multiple ways. Obviously, once I would like figure out the tasks I need to do, schedule them in the ADHD friendly way. There were two things that I really doubled down on. One is self-talk and the other one is environment design. Basically, I figured out that with ADHD, I really need hardcore like action triggers, especially on the execution stage. So I would learn a lot of things that I would tell myself. I would place them in a document called my user manual, which I would read daily. I would also design my environment in a way that's like hardcore execution triggers. I would also I don't know, like learn how to create separations between like different parts of my day, create other types of activation triggers based on things like even things I would wear or like how it's on my desk, whatnot. Like I learned a lot of cool stuff on how to execute with ADHD, and that was kind of crazy. And this was, I would say, the most difficult part because this the reality was a lot of entrepreneurs with ADHD. You have amazing ideas, and once you can build a team and scale is not that hard. The value of despair really is this building this execution system. Like until you figure out this part right here, you will not scale a business with ADHD because you will always be the bottleneck in your own business, and things are just not gonna. Things are going to be miserable. Now, once I got to here, this was I think about January or so. Um, go like you hit another kind of wall, which is like once you hit that 100K per month, going from 100K per month to like 500K per month or like 1 million per month or whatnot, something like that. You really hit a wall, and you hit a pretty big wall, and that's because it's no longer about your own personal execution, and it's no longer just about your own ability to solve problems. Like by the time I reached here, I was fulfilling every single client. I was offering one-on-one calls with every single client. I was basically really spread too thin in terms of fulfillment, sales, and marketing. And it was only then that I realized, okay, I need to build systems that actually are scalable. And very first thing I started with changing my product a little bit, where everything was centered around me, everything was focused on me. I hired very, very talented coaches whom then I trained to be even better than me at coaching people to help them be more productive. Where now they literally coach me, like my coach, the coaches we have coach me because they're, even though I trained them and I taught them a lot of our frameworks, is because then they took that and they added their own innovative touches to it, which was really awesome. And then second thing I did is I built like a great sales team. I built a great marketing team. Like right now we're about like 18 or 19 people. And it's pretty awesome because I'm currently at the stage where like all I really have to do is just to make sure I make sound business decisions and record content and share knowledge with people, and do things of that nature. So this part again was oops. Here, let me go back. This part was pretty easy. This part is pretty easy. And mind you, when I say easy, I don't like obviously it's not easy, like still a lot of work involved. But the part that was really hard is this part over here, the execution system. Like until as an entrepreneur, you figure out how to prioritize, how to execute, man, it's just really, really, really tough. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to like execute better, trying to prioritize better, I'm going to put a link below for my program, Next Level Peak Performance. You can learn more about it. Also, you can check out my channel. There's all sorts of other videos I have over here on tackling more of these specific execution problems, procrastination, whatnot, things of that nature. But yeah, that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.